In the 1970s, America was shocked by the story of a man who looked nothing like a serial killer. Tall, attractive, educated, a charismatic law student with a degree in psychology, a man who easily captured people's hearts. But this man became one of the most brutal criminals in US history. His name was Ted Bundy. He murdered dozens of young women, escaped from prison twice, and eluded the police for years. And his story remains one of the most horrific and mysterious in the history of crime. A childhood that seemed ordinary. Ted Bundy was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. He later moved with his mother to Tacoma, Washington. At first glance, his childhood seemed completely ordinary. He went to church, went to school, played with the neighborhood children, and attended Boy Scout camp. Bundy himself later said that his childhood was one of the happiest periods of his life. He claimed to have grown up in a loving family, free from violence and serious conflict. But there was one strange detail to this story. For a long time, Ted considered his mother an older sister. His grandparents introduced him to others as their own child to hide the fact that their daughter was born out of wedlock. Bundy only learned the truth as a teenager when he accidentally saw his birth certificate. Some psychologists believe this could have seriously affected his psyche, but Bundy himself always denied this. Young, successful, and ambitious. After graduating from high school, Bundy enrolled in university. He studied psychology and was considered a diligent student. He later began working at a hotline for victims of violence, where he interacted with people in difficult psychological states. Co-workers recalled him as polite, calm, and very persuasive. At some point, Bundy became interested in politics. He worked for the Republican Party and participated in the gubernatorial campaign in Washington state. Acquaintances described him as a reliable person. One colleague even said, "He was the kind of guy you'd want your sister to marry." It seemed like a brilliant career awaited him, but it was at this time that events began to unfold in his life that many would later consider pivotal. A breakup that could have changed everything. At university, Bundy began dating a student named Stephanie Brooks. She came from a wealthy and influential family. For Ted, it was a chance to climb the social ladder. But the relationship ended in a painful breakup. Stephanie left him and stopped answering his letters. Bundy later said it was one of the most difficult periods in his life. And it was after that strange events began to occur. Disappearances in Washington state. In 1974, young girls began disappearing in Washington state. First, student Linda Healy vanished. Only a few drops of blood were found in a room. Then another student vanished. Then another, and another. Police initially didn't connect the disappearances, but it soon became clear that a serial killer was operating in the region. A mysterious man named Ted. In the summer of 1974, thousands of people were relaxing on the beach of Lake Sammamish. That day, something incredible happened. Two girls, Janice Ott and Denise Naslund, disappeared right in the middle of a crowd of people. Witnesses later described a strange man. He was attractive, polite, and wore a cast on his arm. He approached the girls and asked them to help him carry his sailboat to his car. The car was a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, and this man introduced himself as Ted. After that, no one saw the girls again. Initial suspicions. Police began a search, but the problem was that there were thousands of men named Ted living in Washington state. Meanwhile, a woman named Elizabeth Klepfer called the police. She told them about her boyfriend. His name was Ted Bundy. He drove a yellow Volkswagen, and she sometimes found his behavior strange. She said she found a knife and casts on him, but even after that, the police couldn't prove his involvement. Witnesses claimed the man from the beach looked different. The investigation was at a dead end. Relocation and new crimes. Soon, Bundy moved to Utah, but similar crimes began to occur there. Girls disappeared. Their bodies were later found in the mountains. One of the victims, Carol DeRanche, was an exception. She managed to survive. A man pretended to be a police officer and attempted to kidnap her, but Carol managed to break free and escape. She remembered her attacker's face. Arrest. In 1975, a police officer stopped a suspicious car at night. It was a yellow Volkswagen Beetle. Ted Bundy was driving. He was arrested, and soon Carol DeRanche identified him as her kidnapper. The court found Bundy guilty and sentenced him to prison, but that was only the beginning. An incredible escape. In 1977, Bundy found himself in court in Colorado. During a recess, he was taken to the library. A security guard stood at the door. At some point, Bundy opened the window and jumped from the second floor. He disappeared. For several days, he hid in the mountains until he was recaptured. But a few months later, he made another escape, this time from prison. He lost so much weight that he was able to crawl through a hole in the ceiling of his cell. Then he crawled through the building's ceiling and exited through the front door in a security guard's uniform. He disappeared again. Bloody night in Florida. In January 1978, Bundy found himself in Florida. There, he committed one of his most brutal crimes. He broke into a university dormitory for women and attacked the sleeping students. 2 girls died. Several more were seriously injured. A few weeks later, he kidnapped and murdered 12-year-old Kimberly Leach, but he was soon arrested again. The most high-profile trial. Ted Bundy's trial was a sensation. For the first time, such a trial was televised. Bundy refused a government attorney. He decided to defend himself. He questioned witnesses, argued with the judge, and addressed the jury. Many were struck by his charisma. Female admirers even appeared in the courtroom. They didn't believe such a charming man was capable of murder. But the evidence was too compelling. Chief among them were the bite marks on the victims' bodies. Experts proved that they matched Bundy's teeth. The jury found him guilty. The court sentenced him to death. While on death row, Bundy attempted to stay his execution. He cooperated with the FBI and spoke about the psychology of serial killers. Investigators believed he helped them better understand the minds of such criminals, but the sentence remained unchanged. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair. A crowd gathered outside the prison. Some celebrated his death. Others simply wanted to see the end of one of the most terrifying stories. Ted Bundy's story continues to shock people because he shattered a common myth, the myth that criminals are easy to spot. Bundy didn't look like a monster. He was educated, charming, and intelligent. And that's precisely why he proved so dangerous.